Hi, happy Sunday. Welcome to Me Made May day 10. Yesterday I think I said it was day 8 and actually it was day 9. So I have 2 day 8s. Look, it's ISO life. One day just blends into the other day. But today is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day. If you have actual children or fur children or you're not even female or identify as female. It's all good. Happy Mother's Day. Hi, I'm Simone. I have a business called Goblin Fruit, so this is my channel, Goblin Fruit. At the moment, I'm just doing videos every day, waffling on about sewing stuff and wearing my me-mates every day, trying to document wearing my me-mates every day. And at day 10, I have actually managed to scrounge together another full outfit of me-mates that you haven't seen before, which I'm pretty happy about. I've just realised I don't have the patterns. Normally I'm prepared and I have the patterns ready to go, because this top I've made, you've seen this top twice before but in different fabrics, and because I've made it 3 times and this is the first time I made it. It's a Simplicity 1940s shirt. I will put the pattern number in the description box below. This is probably the one that's the closest to the original pattern, the first one that I made. So it's the Peter Pan collar cap sleeve version. Actually have the Peter Pan collar on this time. And the only differences are the sleeve is a bit longer, so straight off I made the sleeve longer because I know that that super short sleeve length doesn't really suit me. I have taken the shoulder in just a tiny bit because I always have to, it would seem, on commercial patterns, and I didn't do the little tucks at the bottom. This fabric is just beautiful, and I was really happy I was able to get this shirt out of this fabric because there wasn't very much of it. And so the button back down the back, it is a cotton sateen. It was a remnant from Pitt Trading again. So yeah, love the remnants that they have, and this I just really like this print, and it's just really nice quality fabric. The pants are a Vogue pattern. That I don't think it's a very good pattern. It's been around for, I have things stashed everywhere, by the way. Again, I don't have the pattern ready. I'll put the link down below. It's a 1960s, maybe 1950s, but I think it's a 1960s Vogue reproduction pattern. Comes in like tall, average, and petite, so you can get your crotch length right, I guess. I made this ages ago. Well, I started making it, and then they really didn't fit. And then I came back to them a little bit later, and I'd kind of worked out what I needed to do to fit, but I just still didn't think that they were very, very flattering. I finally made the adjustments to make them fit, but I still don't think that they're very flattering. And they're in one spot, they are very tight, which I think is just a very bizarre element to this pattern. Alright, so I'll back up so you can see them. So, and I've noticed, like I looked it up on Instagram, sorry Frank, a lot of different people make them and they all seem to have fit issues, but I mean pants, people have fit issues anyway, because, you know, that's how it is. So it's a cigarette pant, sort of slash pockets down on the hips. There is a lapped side zipper and a button on the waistband, so right up at your natural waist. It's like my belly button, so natural waist all the way up here. Yeah, cigarette shape. I have tapered the legs in a little bit more than the pattern actually is at the bottom. Alright, what else have I done? I have shortened the front rise. I shortened the front rise probably 1 inch to 2.5, 3 centimeters through the front here, and then around. If I hadn't have already mostly made these, pretty much completely made these, I would have also shortened them a little bit at the sides, because it becomes, I mean, while I could shorten a bit on that side, I already had the zipper in on this side. And this is possibly a little bit long. It's also got a thing that I think was just quite common sort of in vintage pants, which I have taken in and kind of steamed out as much as I could, where it goes from the waist and then the hips come straight out, like that. And it was very, very rounded right here, and I have smoothed that out. Not that you can really tell because the way that the pockets sit. But the thing that I think is very weird, because I am proportionally narrow hipped, I'm bigger on the thighs, but I'm narrower here proportionally, particularly in terms of like vintage style patterns. And it is so tight there. So if you had normal width hips, it would just be ridiculous. Like this spot, just at the very bottom of the pocket, ridiculously tight. Like it pulls it in under your stomach, so it makes your stomach look worse. Well, it just makes your stomach look more rounded. Stomachs are good people, we need places to put food. But yeah, getting a more rounded effect. And you know, like that 1960s look is very much like, or 50s. It's like, you know, flat and hollow. You're not getting that in these pants, that's for sure. And you know, I don't think, can you see? Like, so it's this spot here around the hips. I mean, I don't think I'm particularly wide through there. I mean, I'm wider here and here. So why so tight right there? And I looked at the construction, and I haven't like pulled, like when I put the pockets in, I haven't like really stitched in. I haven't done that at all. Like there isn't excess fabric in there. In fact, there's even less. So yeah, that annoyed me. Like the really baggy front. Like, so when I did it, and it was like this really pooched because there was too much fabric in there, and then it was really, really tight here. So it was like there. I was like, it's not good. And I put them away for a while. I mean, it also doesn't count that I made it in this fabric, which is kind of a bonded sort of double gauze fabric, so it's thick. And a thick fabric that is kind of poofy, like layered, isn't particularly flattering anyway. It's probably not great for cigarette pants, and I don't think that they're going to really last, particularly since, because it's tight there, when I sit down it really pulls in the seat. But yeah, oh well. As I mentioned before, this is one of the fabrics that I got in a market in Hong Kong, and they weren't particularly good quality, so I don't really care. And I might make these pants again, but I think if I did it, because I really had this fantasy about being able to wear cigarette pants, and I've never been able to buy them in shops because of the thighs. So I really want to be able to make them for myself. Yeah, so I might try this again, but I would probably try like a cotton sateen or something with a little bit of stretch in it, and add that bit more fabric in the hip. Maybe even taper it a little bit more in the lower leg. I actually, motorbike, sorry for that. I actually do quite enjoy pants that really, really hug your calves. I mean, I've got quite substantial calves. I have good, strong legs for lifting stuff. They're great. Anyway, okay, that's the outfit. I'm just going to mention today, and this is in no way related to Mother's Day. Do not make your mother ironing things for Mother's Day. Maybe make them for your dad for Father's Day. Dads like tools. They also have to iron. They can have tools for ironing. You know, great for shirts, great for tailored pants. Father's Day present. By the way, this is a arm roll, sausage. And this is a tailor's ham. Now I'm mentioning it because I have all the ironing stuff out right now because I had to iron these pants into submission. You'd think it was for the cotton sateen shirt, but no, it was for the pants. But I made these last week, and they are a brilliant scrap buster. So I'm going to go through a couple of, very, very quickly, some scrap busters. First off, I'd made my ironing board cover. You can't see, but my ironing board is right here. All right. When I was at fashion school, I did a lot of sustainability projects and made some pieces out of wool blankets. And one of my dresses actually like won an award at Perth Fashion Festival for sustainability. It was a dress made out of a wool blanket. And then I started getting a lot of wool blankets, and people were giving me their old wool blankets. And I mean, they're great things. Like, they're 100% wool. They last forever. They're super, super toasty warm. But because the colours aren't particularly fashionable, or maybe the trims are coming off, or maybe they've got a little stain or a little hole in a corner, people are just getting rid of them. And, you know, like Australian wool blankets, like when they were first bought, they're very expensive. When I used to work in homewares, particularly like when I started, which maybe about 20 years ago, and we sold Waverley Woolen Mill Australian wool blankets, and you could get them up to like $500. You know, now we have a lot of Chinese wool and all that kind of thing, and they're not so expensive, but back then they were incredibly expensive. So they're just beautiful, beautiful products, and they don't deserve to be thrown away. So we have to find things to do with them. So this one I have used as an underlayer for my ironing board cover, and then made a new ironing board cover, which if you're interested in that, put a comment in and I can tell you how I did it. Maybe one day when I figure out camera angles and stuff like that to show you. Yeah, it's probably not going to happen soon. I like the idea that these videos are very, very quick to make, and then I just put them up and I'm done. This is my tailor's ham, my sausage. It is wool on the top. This is a cotton bed sheet, so a recycled cotton sateen bed sheet, 100% cotton, very, very tight fibre. It's what I also made my ironing board cover out of. You can get recycled bed sheets very, very easily. You can get them you can get them brand new, flat sheets, cotton satin at Good Sammy's for $2. I've done it before. Because it is more economical to buy a high quality sheet as a sheet set. So fitted sheet, flat sheet, 2 pillowcases. But in Australia, a lot of people don't use a flat sheet, so they just get rid of them. And that's just really nice cotton. So think about it. And the thrift store's open next week. Yay! So excited. Maybe some have already opened this week. I don't know. I don't care. I'm really excited. We call them op shops here in Australia. And Good Sammy's, the salvos. Yeah. I don't know why I started saying thrift, because I've watched too many YouTube videos. Right. So I saw this idea. Alex from Selkie Patterns, like the girls at Selkie Patterns, had done a book on sustainable sewing for the Great British Sewing Bee. Alex was talking through it on her YouTube channel, what was in the book, and she mentioned that they had a tailor's ham pattern that you could stuff with fabric scraps. Yes. Because normally a tailor's ham is stuffed with like sawdust, I think. And so I don't know how to get my hands on a whole bunch of sawdust, and that seems really, really messy. But I have a ton of fabric scraps. And I was like, that is brilliant. Because I don't know why, but tailor's hams and tailor's, they seem to be really expensive for what they are. I mean, it's 2 layers of fabric, or in this case, this is actually 4 layers of fabric stuffed with stuff until it gets really, really hard and dense. Like, these are really hard. They're quite heavy. They're very dense. So I don't have the book, although I just made up my pattern. Just made up a pattern for them. If you don't know what they're used for, when you're ironing and you want to iron over a curve, say like a dart or in a shoulder, you put it in there. The wool finish is quite sticky, so like a cotton shirt or whatever in your shoulder, that's going to hold on to there. It won't slip and slide around, and then you can get lots and lots of steam and just iron straight over the top and get a nice curved shape and really mold that shoulder in, like if you're doing tailored jackets. You know, beautiful. Really, really, really helpful. I made up a pattern, so you could make up a pattern too. I just drew one for this guy, just to give you an idea. This is going to be a long video, sorry. This is 30 centimeters long, which is just under 12 inches. And at its widest point, 20 centimeters, just under 8 inches. And it's kind of an egg shape. Oh, I did the length at its narrowest, kind of up here-ish. You can see what I mean. 15 centimeters, 6 inches. And I cut 2 in cotton and 2 in wool. So this side you can have the wool, and then underneath it is a layer of the cotton, because the cotton is really densely woven and nothing's getting through it. And the same on this side, but the cotton's on the outside and the wool is on the inside. The wool on the inside protects against heat for the stuffing on the inside, because this is stuffed with fabric scraps, stuffed solid, and I didn't care if they were synthetic or natural. So, you know, maybe they will eventually melt their way into a blob. I doubt it. Like, I don't think a lot of that, enough heat is going to get through the wool and the cotton to melt the satin that's in there. And other things, there's lycra in there, whatever. So what I used was just like this stuff that's in my, like the little bits. The smaller bits, Alex recommends you kind of stuff right into the edges. Those off-cut bits from your overlocker, you'd want to be collecting a lot of them. It took a lot. And when you start pushing it in, yeah, it's a bit lumpy and you don't want a lumpy one. But if you just keep pushing and keep kind of wiggling it around, yeah, it gets nice and firm and not lumpy at all. So just sewed all the bits together, turned it inside out, left an opening at that end, stuffed it, wiggled it, pushed it, got really, really sore thumbs, probably need a career as a masseuse, and then stitched it up by hand. And pretty much the same thing for the arm roll. To be honest, I probably use this more for like sleeves and legs than the tailor's ham. But I was also thinking you could make like a draft sausage. You know, sausage goes under the door, and fill that with scraps. Use scraps doing that. You'd probably want that to be softer and floppier than these, which are mega, mega stuffed. This one, the pattern I made looks like that. It's, you know, I just kind of did what I thought would work. 40 centimeters, let's say, long, and 14 centimeters wide, 12 centimeters wide. So 12 is like 4.5 inches, 14 is 5.5 inches, and 40 centimeters would be 16 inches-ish. Yay! I also made myself an organza pressing cloth because I had some organza in my stash from another graduate project. This is silk organza. Brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Really, really works. Like if you want a really high heat on something that is probably going to melt, put the cloth over the top. Maybe if you want to, spray some water on it, and you can get that high heat to get that real crispness onto, you know, something that might be polyester satin. You know, be careful within reason. Depends how hot your iron gets. My iron, I don't think gets super, super hot. Yay! So there's that. I did have another scrap box. Oh yeah, yesterday I mentioned that the next thing that I wanted to make was a Pouf. And I've just been made aware that there is a free Pouf pattern from Closet Case Patterns. So I'll link that below too, if anybody else wants to make a Pouf. Wow, that was a lot of talk in no particular order. Happy Mother's Day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.